day while going to Machakos. Honorable Speaker, I find the member quite confused because you can't tell me you can use other routes to get to Machakos. You must explain to the people of Makueni. We have a people who serve, and we have a people who are expecting results from us. Nothing short of that, just results. The result is what we are about to do. And those results should have come by yesterday. So when we take people round, we are taking so many people who are watching this on YouTube, Honorable Speaker. So we should not waste a lot of time on things we can solve easily. That's just my point. And by the way, that was not my main point.
Oh, okay.
So allow me,
Honorable
Speaker, to proceed.
There is a point of order. Honorable Musungi, I think that matter was debated on the floor and he did not contribute. And the Speaker was asked to rule on that matter. And there was no illegality in it. But members were told in between on which route to use to be where we are today, or where we are about to be. And the Speaker allowed the rule of democracy for members to determine the route to use. And the chair then, leader of the majority, had laid a paper. Members had to decide their route, and they decided. This portion was not to be considered yesterday. What was happening yesterday was laying a paper for the business to be considered today, and a notice was to be given yesterday. So whatever the case, the motion would have come today at 9:30, and the motion was presented. So that matter was resolved by vote by the members of the County Assembly. And therefore, on that contribution, it is indeed revisiting the resolution of the County Assembly that it is out of order. There was a resolution to that effect. And therefore, member from Lala is in order. Proceed and contribute faster so that we do what you want done instead of revisiting and resolve the issue. If anything, we are spending more time for a matter that was resolved by the House.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I withdraw, but I still have something in mind about the future. That's the future. The future is very important to us. Honorable Speaker, as I support this motion, I want to clarify one thing, that yes, Engineer Kieti comes from my ward, and I'm Engineer Kisungi from the same ward. Honorable Speaker, we were selected by two different entities. One of the entities is the executive, which chose Engineer Kieti over others because of his experience and what he has to offer to this county of Makueni. Honorable Speaker, I also thank the members of this assembly who thought it wise to select me to be the chair of water because of also of my experience and the things I can do for this great county of Makueni. Honorable Speaker, I want to explain in the last assembly, we had the ECM who was from Kasikel, and the CEO was also from Kasikel, and it happens the husbands are old-time friends, but I believe we moved the water agenda very seriously, and up to where we are, I think water committee remains the topmost committee in this assembly, without, of course, thinking anything bad about the other committees. Honorable Speaker, Engineer Kieti is a very experienced man. And Honorable Speaker, I can promise this House that from what I know out of that man, who even before I knew him, was in Northeastern. When I reported, as Honorable Kalunda just said some hours ago, when I reported to Northeastern Garissa, that's the man I found to be my mentor there. And he trained me a lot of things, which I never even practiced in life. He trained me how to work with dozers, with excavators, with drilling machines, how to do a lot of surveys. So I believe he's the best person for that job. And I believe we can work together to improve the livelihood of Makueni. Honorable Speaker, on what I would like to state that it's achievable. The dream of 80 plus is achievable through that department. So, Honorable Speaker, I beg for the members to give us that opportunity, not considering that we may come from the same region. Honorable Speaker, my last bit about these appointments is that we seem to be to get the excitement out of the appointments and forget that we have work to do. I request that all the committees may take time to interrogate the particular ECMs and the CEOs who will be coming soon, so that they may know what actually we can do as an assembly to help our people. Because whenever we finish this particular duty of vetting the ECMs, we forget that we are the ones who vetted them. We forget that we need to follow up on what they are doing. We also forget that we have a task of following the budgets, of following the CIDP. The CIDP should always be aligned, as should be done by the ECMs and as should be oversighted by this county assembly. So, Honorable Speaker, I request that you may give us that time, that opportunity to interrogate these people every step of their working in this county government. Because it will be very bad when we just forget that we vetted an ECM and that ECM jumps up and down without even considering that there are things which the assembly should know. Honorable Speaker, the wording should be very strong from this assembly, that you were vetted by this assembly and you should appear before this assembly anytime to answer to any problem affecting our people. So, Honorable Speaker, let those guys, let those nominees know that we have not just vetted them to go and relax. They have not gotten a permanent job. They have gotten a job which also required to be oversighted by this assembly, and we can make any recommendation concerning their working. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Elizabeth Kawembe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank His Excellency the Governor for considering the gender in his nomination, Mr. Speaker, because out of 11 nominees, we have 4 women. Mr. Speaker, I'm very passionate about women because I know they are up to the task. Mr. Speaker, I remember in the last assembly, Mr. Speaker, we had the best performing CEO, that is none other than Madam Damaris Macau, who was the CEO for water. And Mr. Speaker, I know all these women who are in this list, they will do the best. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that I know the governor considered the best team because all the nominees are all well versed, and they are all well versed with public service, Mr. Speaker, and they are all professionals. Mr. Speaker, I remember very well in the last assembly that we worked with Engineer Choni, and he did well in the Department of Infrastructure and Energy. And Mr. Speaker, I was really shocked to hear that there were 2 petitions against him. Mr. Speaker, I can speak on the floor of this house that without fear or any contradiction, that Engineer Choni did so well. I remember in my ward, Mr. Speaker, all the gullies which were there in the community ward, they were done during his period when he was serving that department. Mr. Speaker, I want to remind this house that they have a very, very important role to play as we approve all these nominees. As they do the implementation bit, Mr. Speaker, I want to urge all the members in this house that we should be very, very strict when we are doing our oversight role. Mr. Speaker, we should not take things for granted, Mr. Speaker, because the people of Makueni, they are waiting for our performance. Mr. Speaker, I know the governor picked the team so that they can assist him to deliver the promises which he gave to the people of Makueni during his campaigns, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to urge all the members to support the motion, Mr. Speaker, and I want to remind the nominees that they should be prepared to give services to the people of Makueni. Mr. Speaker, as the other members have alluded that they got some nominees from their ward. Mr. Speaker, I know in Mugabe Community Ward there is none, but Mr. Speaker, all the nominees which are in this list, Mr. Speaker, they are all from Makueni. And Mr. Speaker, I know the governor, he consider Mugabe Community Ward when he is doing the nomination for the CEOs. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to applaud the governor because, Mr. Speaker, we have a very important task ahead of us. And Mr. Speaker, I want to urge the House so that to pass the motion so that the work starts immediately. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Member for Mtito Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also raised to support the motion. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate what the governor has done for the people of Makueni by choosing that team of 10 county executive committee members. And I believe strongly that they are not the best professionals in this county, but he thought that those were the most suitable candidates to help him in achieving his agenda. However, Mr. Speaker, sir, I've looked at the list and I found only Engineer Choni and Engineer Kieti have been in the devolved government. Because Engineer Kieti has been an engineer, he's a mechanical engineer, but he has been in the health department, a person I know for a while. And Engineer Choni was also the ECM infrastructure and roads and public works. The other members should also understand who have been nominated. We are in politics, and politics are so many dynamics. So as we appreciate them that they are professionals in their different fields, in order to understand they are coming in an environment, in a political environment, which might be very complicated. Because as we get pressure from our electorate now, various wards, they also help us to diffuse that pressure. So as the members have alluded here, they need to appreciate that we need to be taken very, very serious as members of this county assembly, because we'll expect a lot of information from them. The other complaint I wish to make, if the expectation is too high, we know what Professor Kibuga Kibwana, the former governor, did. And he did a lot of work, people appreciate it, but now, Governor Mutula Kilodo Jr. is a young person. People have a lot of expectation. So, as they delegate that power to the ECMs, they should also appreciate the burden, as the members have stated here. A lot is expected from them. So, we are looking forward for them to burn the midnight oil and deliver for the people of Makueni. Because now we sit here to deliberate on their suitability as nominees. Our people are suffering. We know there is drought, water sources are dried, we have no seeds, The range is here with us. So I wish to add members here as we approve or we adopt this motion. The ECM should also be up and down running to save this county because we are almost in a crisis. If the rains, if we don't supply seeds for the next 2 years, we'll be in a very awkward position because we cannot supply seeds in December and expect people to plant. And the drought also ravaging us. So, Mr. Speaker, as now settled down to start the work, we feel the ECMs will be also up and down, day and night, running to save this county. So, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude my remarks, I also appeal for the members here to support and help the governor achieve his clarion call on his agenda, which might be coming in a very sweet camper way, but it might even take us a while to deliver that. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Cascade Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for this opportunity. And again, I say that I'm now okay with the gorilla. I had to go relief from Honorable Karunga, and now I'm okay. Let me say that I am thanking the governor very much for the good work he did. Of course, I've gone through this pamphlet and I've seen that 2 members are coming from my area. And therefore, I am the eldest man who has ever lived. And say that I request the members, the honorable members, to approve them so that they may descend to work as soon as possible. Mr. Speaker, it's on that I came to your office, Mr. Speaker, in the morning, and I had to borrow a leave and I was with the DC. The people down there are eagerly waiting for bail and food from this county. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, without much ado.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
What's the point of order?
Mr. Speaker, I think the starting orders do not allow an honorable member to mix languages while he's debating on the floor.
What is a point of order and who is not in order?
I'm not sure it's a point of concern or point of
No,
order.
as a kid, you know you are a seasoned officer in county assembly. You've worked in the executive arm of county assembly for 5 years, preparing debate notes for a member of a county assembly. But now you are a member, so I can't treat you as a new member.
I formerly was your junior, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, working with me.
Yes,
And,
working under you.
Mr. Speaker. Whatever the case, you are well versed with the procedure. So can you execute the point of order in a manner in which it is supposed to be executed?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to inform the honorable member.
That is, you're not on a point of order. You will not rise on a point.
I'm on a point of information, Mr. Speaker.
Well, the point, the member for the man will update you on how to read the point of order.
I'm raising on a point of information.
Is the member for Cascade in order to do APC? All that is the issue.
Okay. So, Mr. Speaker, thank you for the direction. And is the member for Cascade Ward in order to mix languages when he's debating on the floor of the House? Because I understand that standing orders do not allow for that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Cascade Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mixing languages is not a crime here in the House. I know so many languages for 7 languages of Kenya. And Mr. Speaker, I'm only trying to express myself on this, and this honorable member is only trying to be regarding the time. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I beg.
The houses. Member from Mazangaloni, have you been responded? Are you satisfied?
Mr. Speaker, guide me accordingly. the standing orders, if I can be able to mix, if I start with the Queen's language, if I can mix and switch to Kiswahili and later switch to Kikamba, because the member started with English, he later switched to Kidogo Kidogo, later switched to Mbeo. So now, Mr. Speaker, kindly guide me accordingly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
What is your understanding of the standing orders of that section?
That when you rise to debate on the floor of the House and you start with a particular language, you are guided to remain on that line of language until the end of your contribution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Fair, I'm persuaded by a member for Masungaleni, and the member for Masungaleni is perfectly in order. A member for Kaskeo Ward, you are advised by Masungaleni and you are out of order. You need to correct that and proceed.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Let me apologize to that particular member. If he has not understood when I said Bebu is a Swahili word.
It is not that member. You just, it is the house.
To the house. Then let me apologize for that. Mr. Speaker, I beg to continue. The only word I wanted to say is that I am trying to talk to the honorable members to move with high speed to approve these particular members of that they may be sent to work as soon as possible, because on the ground people are even waiting for work to start. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Elizabeth Mutindi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to support the motion that we approve the 10 nominees who will be CECs in Makueni County Executive. Mr. Speaker, I am a member of the committee, so I will not speak for long. And one of the people who were voted by Honorable for Kilombo Ward as being in the spirit. So, Mr. Speaker, I remember everything that the members, that the nominees said, and I just want to urge them on this floor that when they settle in their positions, that they work in the interest of the people of Makueni. Mr. Speaker, we have had an experience where we ask for information as a committee or as a house from these executive members, and it is not forthcoming, or we are taken in rounds. Mr. Speaker, we don't expect that of these new ECMs, because I can attest to their competence and their experience, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm particularly excited about the women in that cabinet. If we approve all of them, the women in that cabinet have vast knowledge in their dockets, and especially happy about the ECM nominee for ICT. Mr. Speaker, she changed a very big organization that is KEMSA from paper-based to a paperless institution. Mr. Speaker, that was a big step when she was, she's the one who oversaw all that. So I expect that she is going to execute that in our government systems, Mr. Speaker, so that what we keep talking about, automation, we can achieve it so that it can help us in terms of revenue collection. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to hope that we are going to approve them so that work may start in this government, so that we can
start working for the people of Makueni, because when one arm of the government is not functional, the whole government is not functional. So, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to rest.
There is no other back page. I'm not able to trace it. It's number 50. Member for Mukawa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, member for Makueni, I was telling you being at the back pages that I see. Thank you. I support Mr. Speaker. Motion that is before this assembly on the vetting of nominees to the county executive committee, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I begin by thanking the Committee of Appointments for the extended vetting, the kind of vetting that was done with the nominees, especially Mr. Speaker, regarding their expertise and also their intentions, and also what they will do in their next probably 100 days in office, Mr. Speaker. They even plans for the county government. Mr. Speaker, as a matter of fact, we need to get the county government up and running, Mr. Speaker. Having looked at the report from the Committee of Appointments, I have noted a lot of big dreams for the people of Makueni, from the persons who have been vetted, ECCs. Mr. Speaker, it's my sincere desire that those will not just be big dreams, that they will not just be on paper, that they will not just be words to the committee and this assembly, the Speaker, and the people of Makueni. But these people will move with speed to help the government execute the Speaker is manifesto. We really have a lot to do, Mr. Speaker. I would at least say something about ECM, Mr. Speaker. Something that has been on my mind is the CC nominated as a member for agriculture, Mr. Speaker, where she has been a member of the NARIC project, Mr. Speaker. That is one of the projects. That has been one of the largest projects in Makueni from donor funds, Mr. Speaker. However, I can say from experience, it has been one of the worst mismanaged projects within Makueni, Mr. Speaker. I want to believe that we will serve the people of Makueni. That this team will be best suited to help the governor deliver his manifesto, to deliver legacy. And the Speaker, the legacy, and if I may say, one of the legacies that the previous administration left was the establishment of the county government structures, Mr. Speaker. But for the second dispensation, Mr. Speaker, that is for the governor, Mr. Speaker, the best legacy will be to give the people of Makueni water, to ensure that we can be able to market our products very well, to ensure that our environment is well taken care of and our natural resources are best exploited, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that our revenue grows, Mr. Speaker. I have noted the commitment by the member for education and ICT, Mr. Speaker, to ensure the county goes paperless, Mr. Speaker. For ages, for the last 5 years that I have been here, every budget we have passed, there has been automation of county government processes, Mr. Speaker. It has never happened, Mr. Speaker. I want to believe this is the time that is going to happen, Mr. Speaker. We want to automate our systems and to ensure that at least we are the county of promise, as you have always said, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I support. Thank you.
Honorable Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I stand to support the good work done by the Committee of Appointment. Also, I congratulate our governor for good job he has done, because I can see the nominations, the nominees are well balanced and they are all professionals. And because of their profession, I'm sure they are going to take our county far. What I can ask all members, I request you to approve this list so that our nominees can start working.
Yes, so, thank
Minority rule, last one. Then I call the move of the motion to suspend.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I stand to support the motion. Secondly, I want to say that the team that set down the appointment committee, they did a good job, and what they have presented to this house, it is something that we acknowledge for good work. That I say we appreciate our Governor, His Excellency Alonso, for selecting members who are competent and who can serve in this wonderful county. I understand their qualifications and their experience is best placed to transform this county in terms of social welfare and also the economic welfare. The commitment I saw when the interviews were being conducted, specifically with the ECM for water and sanitation, and also the ECM agriculture, because I understand for the community to produce enough for the society to feed and also surplus to take to the market, there must be an issue of water, because we all understand that rain-fed agriculture is not enough to make the people of Makueni produce. But when we talk about reliable water, through the Department of Water initiating projects that can bring more water to this county, then it means the production levels of the community goes up, and we are not going to talk about issues about food insecurity. Therefore, when I stand here, I want to say that this is a team that is going to deliver. And according to the commitment and also the implementation matrix that the ECMs are talking about, it is a matrix that will also peg their performance. And in that, I understand, within a period of 2 or 3 years, then you are going to get the success of their work, and then as we are president, that will be amped on what they have done for this county. So as we move forward, I want to say all the departments and also the assembly of Makueni, good working relationship and also the good environment that you are going to foster will also make the work easier for this county, and the dream that His Excellency the Governor has for the people of Makueni within a period of 5 years, it will be achieved. When it is achieved, I want to understand it is not for the governor or it is not for this house, but also for the entire county. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mover of the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I truly appreciate honorable members who have made their contribution, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, I've confirmed that Makueni has produced the best MCS ever, Mr. Speaker, because there's a lot of objectivity, Mr. Speaker, in their contributions, save for the concerns of a few members who have felt that their areas have not been touched, Mr. Speaker. But I want to bring to their attention, to those honorable members, that this county has 30 wards. This county has 6 sub-counties. His Excellency the Governor had to appoint only 10 ECMs, Mr. Speaker. How I wish we could have positions for 30 ECMs, then perhaps that matter would be addressed accordingly. Mr. Speaker, we also have positions of CEOs, which is coming up very soon, in fact, as soon as possible. And I know His Excellency the Governor has also tried to do the balancing equation because it's not that easy. In fact, this was raised by Honorable Member from Goma Sumba. It's good that the students have referred to Mr. Speaker, but he made his point, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, is only that they did not know that he is the most powerful chairman from Go of lands, because he said that the assembly has nothing from Go. But he's number one, unless he feels that he doesn't need that position, then we may need to give it to someone else. But he's a very strong chairman representing the people of Go, where land is an issue, Mr. Speaker. So therefore, as matters move on, we will be able, and the governor is fully aware that there are wards, because if every member says to Remani we want, Go Masumba we want, Mabindini we want, I mean it may not be practically possible as much as we want that to be the case, Mr. Speaker. But all the same, all the ECMs who have been appointed, the nominees, will serve Makueni equally, and Mr. Speaker, fairly. And Honorable Kisundi has said it here, I don't know where he has left, that, and there's another member also said it, that, you said when somebody participates and contributes, let us remain so that he listens to what I'm saying or any other person. It's a trend that we need to check in future. So that that's why you see other members are saying, please put the question, but through your wisdom, you have really made a wonderful ruling. It is important for members to get a chance to say that any ECM who does not perform accordingly, because we have vetted them here, and now we are seasoned member. We have seen some that say within 100 days, I will do A, B, C, D. I think this assembly must recall any of those ECMs because we are the one who will approve or disapprove them, Mr. Speaker. And we are number ones, and we expect them to listen and give the assembly the due respect that we deserve. Because we must support the executive as much as they also support us, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, issues of marginalized have been spoken. And I really want to tell members that let us support this motion, Mr. Speaker, because I also want to go back to the member of Go, because he made several issues about him seeing 11 nominees. It's good to advise him that these are two reports. We only have 10 ECMs, but maybe he read both on the nomination of the county attorney who makes number 11, Mr. Speaker. So therefore, that is a motion we are coming on. So if you could hold a bit and not run very fast, we'll be coming to that motion, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, I request members to support this motion so that the executive will take charge as soon as yesterday. Thank you very much.
Our members, it's now time to put the question. I've seen because for member for Go, unfortunately the mover of the motion was responding to the motion. It's not expected that when the mover is responding to the issues that have been raised by members, and again you raise a counter, so therefore the request is declined. Honorable members, I now put the question that this assembly adopt the report of the committee on appointments on the vetting of the nominees for the appointment as members of the county executive committee of Makueni County Assembly, laid on the table of the assembly on the 1st of October, year 2022. As many as of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many of a contrary opinion say there is absence. Honorable members, I have the following directions to make that the clerk communicates the resolutions of the county assembly on the nomination and approval of the executive committee member to His Excellency the Governor as provided for under the County Government Act and standing orders for the necessary action to be taken. Further that, honorable members, we have two other motions regarding the approval of the county attorney and the approval of selected panel. Both motions have an expiry date of today at midnight. And aware that the leader of the majority did not move a motion to extend the sitting time until the business is appearing on the order paper, he has a window to move that motion between now and before 4:30. Otherwise, which is 6 minutes from now. And otherwise, if any of the two businesses is not expended, then it will lapse for. Next order. What is your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given the work ahead of us, as you have just said, we have 2 or 3 motions which we have to discuss and discuss today. And therefore, I rise on a procedural motion. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move the following procedural
Before you
motion.
proceed, honorable members, take note. You cause a quorum each and the business before will lapse forever. And the governor will proceed and make appointments without the approval of the Congress. It's a responsibility that you must be. Everyone is supposed to do something, but the business before has a constitutional duty. Pursue the.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to move a procedural motion. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move the following procedural motion that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order number 33, Part 3A, these